What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? Shoebooty Sports coming at you Wednesday night, coming at you a day late, but that's okay. We're here. We're getting it in this week nonetheless. I'm Graham Powell on this screen. That's Bradley on the other. Say what's up, Bradley.
Is Bradley? What's up?
We're both rocking Arkansas Razorback hats. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's happened on the show before. Surely it has.
I would think so. But yeah, I guess we're both repping the basketball team and not really the baseball team since they keep on dropping games to not D1 opponents.
Yeah,
So
it's not looking like it's going to be a very good year for DVH, but this is one of my favorite Razorback hats I've gotten. I'm quite happy with this one. Got it in Branson, of all places, at the Branson Landing. They had like it's a mall area, outdoor mall area. I got it at like, it wasn't Lids, but it was a similar type of store.
yeah,
And it had a $25 sticker on it. And I said, this is a nice hat. I'm going to go get it. And the guy rung me up for like $34. I said, hey, this had a $25 sticker on it. And he's like, well, let me go look in the back and just to make sure. And he did. And I think it said 27, but he said, I'll sell it to you for 25. It's fine. So goodbye as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, before we get going, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoebooty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoebooty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoebooty Sports. Okay, you have the SEC men's basketball tournament going on as we speak. It's currently Texas Ole Miss. Last you told me Ole Miss is up 10, correct?
yeah, something like that.
Well, that is what you told me last, but who knows what it is at this point. That was a few minutes ago. Anyway, just looking at the bracket, I don't know how Kentucky's season has gone since playing us. It must not have been that great because they did beat us at in Fayetteville,
Yeah,
and this was at the point they were
after
kind
we
of.
had a healthy lead.
Yeah. Well, this is back when they were turning things around. Kentucky, that is. That was a huge win. So I was like, man, this is a good team. And they somehow are a 9 seed in the SEC tournament. What happened? What did I miss?
They lost more games than you thought they did. I don't know. I was
Oh,
surprised to see their
okay.
overall record whenever they were playing LSU. I think they only had like 12 wins, something like
That's
that.
no,
Conference wins.
only 12 conference wins. Arkansas had
Yeah,
13.
or I think it was 10. It was something low.
Okay. All right. Uh, yeah, something happened since they played Arkansas. They must have taken a little bit of a skid there. But yeah, Arkansas's rebounded quite nicely since then, despite basically Carter Knox, I assume, is out for the year. They said he's out indefinitely. Maybe he can make an appearance in the tournament, but yeah, I would think he'd be out for the year. That's one of the last games that he played that I can remember at the Kentucky game. But Kentucky took care of business against LSU. There was another game already played. I can't remember who it was or who won. Let me pull it up real quick. Auburn beat Mississippi State, handled them pretty easily, 79-61. The Kentucky LSU game was fairly close. Kentucky 87, LSU 82. LSU as a team, I only saw them play twice, only saw them play Arkansas. And it was a really close game in Fayetteville when they played. And at this point, they were 1-5 in league play at LSU. So I was a little surprised by that. Nothing the Razorbacks do ever surprise me, but to see them play that competitively, I was like, okay, well, they're better in the record in the case. But then Arkansas played them again at LSU and just beat the absolute brakes off of them. Wasn't even close. I think they were closer to that team. Well, the evidence suggests, based on the record and everything, LSU is closer to that team. The second, they're the team that got blown out than the team that gave Arkansas a dogfight. Arkansas doesn't play till Friday, by the way.
Yeah, they get started off in the semifinals, right? Or they get the 2-game bye or whatever it is.
Well, that would be the quarterfinals. That'd be
Yeah,
wild if you get to
quarterfinals.
start. That'd be wild if you get to start in the semifinals.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, I was like, that can't be right because there's 4 teams that get a bye. So
Yes, just the top four teams advance. These other games are pretty meaningless. Um, that's not true. But yeah, you get to start in the quarterfinals. I mean, they play Friday night too, and I got to get up fairly early Saturday. I'm not that worried about it. I've got a 2 mile race in Conway, but it'd be nice to get some sleep at a certain point. But I'm definitely staying up and watching the game, 100%, assuming it goes well. Looks like I would guess Arkansas is going to end up playing Texas A&M. That would be my assumption. On that side of the bracket, it's Oklahoma, and I don't remember who. Well, we'll say right here, Oklahoma, South Carolina. Now they play tonight. That's the later game. That's a 9:30 tip off. At least that's when it's scheduled. So it may actually start at like 10. Who knows? Or later. But the winner of that game will go on to play Texas A&M in the second round. I guess it was technically the second round. And the winner of that game will play Arkansas Friday night. And that game's basically to be determined. It is going to be the last game played that evening. Do you have the bracket pulled up? We might as well make our picks now because it's going to be done and over with this time next week.
I had the bracket pulled up and I just shut it down. Let me see
Good
if I can get it
timing.
back real quick. Yeah.
Good timing by me. Okay, I'm looking at it. Okay, Kentucky beat LSU. That's what I would have picked. Auburn beat Mississippi State. That's what I also would have picked. So I'm going to say I'm 2-0 on this one. We got Ole Miss, Texas. Ole Miss is the lower seed. Uh, I think I probably would have picked. It's hard to say knowing how the game is going, but I probably would have picked Ole Miss just because they played Arkansas tougher than Texas did. So I probably would have gone with Ole Miss, and that's a well coached team. I'm drawing a blank on the coach's name. What's the coach's name for Ole Miss?
Ole Miss coach. I don't know.
Well, I should know. Chris Beard. There you go, Chris Beard. I was going to say the UALR coach that won a game in the NCAA tournament. Excuse me, the Little Rock Trojans. He coached them to a win in the NCAA tournament, and then took the UNLV job, and then said no thanks. The Texas Tech job is open. I'm going to take that one instead, and then got to the national championship game and almost won it. Then had a good run at Texas, and then he choked his wife or something. I don't remember what the deal was, and
Yeah.
then he
Something
was
like
out of
that.
that gig. And then here he is at Ole Miss. Ole Miss said, "You know, that's not a big deal. We'll take you. We just want to win."
Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's essentially what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss doesn't have the best record when it comes to their coaches and what they're doing in their private life. They had one that was calling out escorts for them, so for their players, so they didn't seem to mind that at all.
Not that Arkansas
Well,
has the best history of that either, but Ole Miss is at least more recent. Just call it down the middle.
we just had one incident, right?
Well, that we know of.
Yeah, true.
Um, there's probably more, but it's what it is. That's the big one. The Petrino motorcycle wreck is what we're talking about. If anybody's wondering, if you couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody was wondering. I'm sure everybody knew that what we were
All
talking
right.
about.
Well, the night game. Let's just go ahead and make all these picks because why not?
Sure.
Um, South Carolina playing Oklahoma tonight. South Carolina, the 14 seed, Oklahoma, the 11th seed. That's the last game of the evening. Who do we? I'll let you go first. Who do you have for that?
I'll pick Oklahoma on that one. And they played us close for a little bit, right? But I don't know. South Carolina with a 14 beside them, kind of have to go with OU.
Yeah, I'm also going to go OU. I just think they're probably. I mean, they're just a better team. I would think. Neither team's a great team, but yeah, I'd go with Oklahoma in that. During like the Pelfrey years and some of Mike Anderson's tenure, I we were watching a lot of these early games because Arkansas would be at the bottom of this bracket. Eric Musselman's final season at Arkansas. People, I mean, he had a great 3 year run, but people forget how disastrous that fourth year was under Musselman, and
We
they were
were,
on. Yeah.
yeah, we only played one game in the SEC tournament with them, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
kept losing. We'd lose out on our first game. So I don't
Lost
know if
first
that's part of
game,
yeah
had a
his
terrible
strategy
record.
or what. But
Yeah, I think he could kind of see the writing on the wall of, well, what I did was working, now it's not. So I think I'm gonna go back to Southern California where they want me while my stock is still high. Um,
he just went there for Bronny. He wanted to be friends with LeBron.
well, it worked out for us.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy with that trade off. We got Coach Cal out of it, so I'm I'm good with everything that happened.
I've still got a Must Bus shirt if anybody wants it. I think I
But I
wore
mean,
it once. So it's very
now
comfortable, but I'll
it's
never
not
wear it
a
again.
yeah, it's not a knock on Muss as far as I mean, Muss got Arkansas back to relevancy. He made
Yeah.
that job desirable again. So I'm not trying to bash Eric Musselman. He made that program relevant again. But that fourth year was a disaster, and he left that cupboard as bare as can be when he was out. Cal inherited no team. Coach Cal inherited no team. He had to talk Trevin Brazil into coming back, which he did, and that was obviously the best move Trevin Brazil's ever made, at least basketball wise. Um, and then, they had a rough start, and then they get to the Sweet 16 last year. Uh, Good season this season, 3 seed in the tournament, but we'll get to them in a little bit. Just wanted to obviously touch up on that. Okay, the next set of games are tomorrow, obviously. We're going to have games from tonight through Sunday. The championship game Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. p.m. on ESPN. Tomorrow's games. All right, you got Missouri and Kentucky, a 12:30 game tomorrow. Missouri, the 8 seed, Kentucky, the 9 seed. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You pick first on that one. I'll pick first on this one. I think Kentucky's a good team. And you get these dark horse conference tournament teams, especially in the SEC. I remember the year we went to Tunica for somebody's bachelor party. I can't remember whose bachelor party it was. Might have been Zach or Boo or something like that.
Yeah. It's one
It's
of those
back,
two.
yeah, back when we had Stephen Hill. I remember him. And Georgia made this just Georgia had an awful season and just made this improbable run through the SEC tournament. Arkansas got to the championship game, and we made it back to Lone Oak at Shane's house in time to watch the game. And I remember thinking, like, we're a favorite to win this game, and no, Georgia got it done. Arkansas has only won one conference tournament since joining the SEC in men's basketball. Have only won one conference tournament. Uh, Having said all that, I found a way to sprinkle Arkansas back into that. Going back to say, yeah, because teams making improbable runs, Georgia, whatever year that was. I'll take Missouri. I just think they're kind of hitting on all cylinders right now. They're a good team. They took Arkansas to overtime. Of course, Arkansas played without Darius Acuff in the regular season finale at Missouri on Saturday. But Missouri's a good team, and I think they'll be ready. And think Kentucky hasn't been as sharp down the stretch, so I'll take Missouri in that one. What say you?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'd go with Missouri. I don't know if just because I hate Kentucky so much, or or if I actually think Mizzou's the better team. I'll just go with Mizzou's the better team. We'll go with Mizzou.
I really don't know. Like talent wise, I think they're pretty
It's a
similar.
it's a yeah, it's a 8-9. They're really close. So
Yeah, but I think Kentucky is better than what their record is. I don't. They're just one of those teams. Now they hit on all cylinders against Arkansas. I mean they handed Arkansas their lone home loss this season. Kentucky did.
yeah.
So Kentucky, obviously 8-9 seed, certainly capable of winning this, but I'll go with Missouri. Um, I will say this about Missouri. I don't know what their uniforms are like regularly on a just a majority basis this season, but I really like their uniforms this season. I like the big yellow M and just the Missouri, by it, the black lettering beside it. It's it mimics their '90s uniforms. Because Arkansas in their heyday in the mid '90s would play Missouri annually before conference play began, and would beat the brakes off of them because Arkansas was really good. But there were some good games. I mean, Missouri has good teams every so often, and they're consistent. They're a consistent, solid program that can is certainly capable of making a run every so often. I do like Missouri's uniforms. I just, for whatever reason, wanted to point that out because I mentioned. It seems like I mention it every time I see them play. Like I like those uniforms. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, other than
Apparently, you just
that
like their uniforms, I guess.
I like their uniforms. There we go. Okay, the next game, Game 6. This is tomorrow, and of course, the time is basically it's 25 minutes after game 5. So 25 minutes after the Missouri Kentucky game. You got number 5, Tennessee. Of course, this is tournament seed or conference tournament seeding, and 12 seed Auburn. It's
I'll go with yeah.
go ahead.
Say I'll go with Tennessee. Auburn's just too hit or miss. So they got
They
the
are.
Nepo baby as their head coach. I'll go with Tennessee.
But he can get them fired up for a game or two. We've seen that. I mean, we saw what they did to Arkansas. Um, one of these games is going to be an upset. This isn't going to go as planned or seeded. At least it's highly unlikely. It never does. Somebody's going to get an upset. I don't know that it's going to be
It's good.
here though.
Say it's going to be A&M getting upset or getting upsetted. We'll say that's
You
going to be
think?
my pick. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think Tennessee's just a better team. I'll take Tennessee. And Georgia will play the game 3 winner. So Georgia's the 7 seed, another team that handed Arkansas a conference loss this season. They got the winner of Texas Ole Miss. What's our score in that one right now?
66-57 Ole Miss right now.
How much time to play?
5 minutes.
Okay. We'll chalk it up to Ole Miss probably, barring something, some big comeback, obviously. Uh, Georgia against the winner of that one. I'll take Georgia. I think Georgia's better than. I mean, Georgia is. They're better than either one of those teams. I'll take Georgia.
I'll agree with you there.
If there were going to be, we'll get through the list first. I want an upset potential, but we'll get to that. And then the last game tomorrow night got Texas A&M against the winner of Oklahoma South Carolina tonight. I got Texas A&M beating either one of those teams. You think Texas A&M is going to get beat by Oklahoma?
Yeah, I just have a feeling they'll get beat by Oklahoma.
It's possible. I'm not going to pick it though. Uh, okay, so Friday's matchups will be the quarterfinals, and the one through 4 seeds all play. Of course, these are the double bye teams. Florida, the 1 seed, Alabama, the 2 seed, Arkansas, the 3 seed, Vanderbilt, the 4 seed. Of those games that we've already mentioned, well, that's your upset. Oklahoma over A&M. That's what you're calling.
Yeah, for now. I mean, I know which one out of the top four I'd think are going to get upset, but
I was like, Kentucky beating Missouri is not an upset. That's
no,
almost a pick 'em.
yeah,
I would pick. Well, I would favor Missouri, but if Kentucky wins, it's not a big deal. I think the game.
they ain't beating Florida though, unless
They did
Florida just
at
wants to get some rest.
no, they beat them at Florida. Yeah, Auburn beat them at Florida, but Auburn beat the brakes off of Arkansas at Auburn. I mean, they looked like a really good team that night.
But Arkansas also quit the road, so
Yeah, but it was never. I mean, anytime they would try to make a run, Auburn had an answer for it. It wasn't like they just gave up immediately. I mean, Auburn was just came out red hot and never cooled down. I think of those games and Ole Miss beating Texas. I also don't see it. That is a 15 beating a 10 seed, but I don't consider that really an upset either. Um, Seating wise, it is, but I don't know. I think those are two comparable teams. If it's the opening round of games, basically, I think anybody can beat anybody. I would say Auburn beating Tennessee would be my pick. I'm not picking that.
it's a good pick because Auburn's got to win to keep their resume alive for the tournament. So it's not a bad pick. They're in must-win situation.
Yeah, and Tennessee's getting in regardless. Uh, yeah, I would pick Auburn to beat Tennessee. I think that would be my pick, but I think Tennessee will win the game if that makes sense. If y'all are following along with that. All right, Friday's games. The first one, a 1 p.m. game, Florida against the winner of Game 5, which will be Missouri Kentucky. I've got Florida winning that. Agree?
I think everybody has Florida winning that one, yeah.
Yeah, Florida. We'll talk about them in a little bit if we remember to. Game after that, Game 10 Friday. Vanderbilt, the 4 seed, against the Game 6. Of course, Vanderbilt squeaked in as a 4 seed, edging Tennessee in the last regular season game. Uh, Vanderbilt against the Game 6 winner, which is Tennessee Auburn.
Vandy would be
That's
my pick
interesting.
to screw it up, yeah.
I'm going to say Tennessee. I'm going to say Tennessee
Yeah.
will beat
I mean,
Vanderbilt.
because they just played them Saturday. So,
And yeah, and they were missing one of their starters. Tennessee was. I'll say Tennessee over Vanderbilt. And plus, Tennessee will have played a game. And this happens every year in the tournament. One of these teams that hasn't played yet will play a team that's played 2 games and are just clicking. They're already warmed up.
it's
And
usually Arkansas that loses to those teams that have already played 2 games. But
yes, I mean it can certainly happen. Hopefully not, but it can certainly happen. I got Tennessee beating Vanderbilt on Friday, and then the uh, third game of the evening, Friday. This is a 7 p.m. game. You got 2 seed Alabama against the Game 7 winner. Didn't mean to do that. Which is clicked on something there. Which is Georgia against what's probably Ole Miss. So the winner of Georgia, probably Ole Miss, will play Alabama.
yeah,
I like
Alabama
Alabama.
looks pretty good, yeah. So
It's a good team. It's a solid team.
high
Yeah,
scoring
I'll take
offense.
yes.
They're
I'll
going to put
take
up some points.
Alabama.
They're going to get the rebounds. Probably a pretty safe pick.
Nate Oates is going to complain about every call.
Yeah. Flailing, being a big baby on the sideline. He'll do that.
Yeah, with his yeah. Okay. Final game of the evening: Arkansas against the Game 8 winner, which is A&M, and the A&M and probably what did we say? Oklahoma.
Probably OU. Yeah.
I think A&M. I think A&M is going to win. Either way, who do you have in that?
If you go off the last couple of years, I would say whoever's playing Arkansas is probably going to win. Seems like that's been our MO the last couple of years is to make a first game exit in the SEC tournament to rest up, apparently, for the NCAA tournament. I hope the Hogs win. So, I mean, I'll have to do a homer pick. We'll go with the Hogs. They are 3 seed. So,
Yeah, Acuff will be back. I like where they're at in the bracket. I'm going to go with I'll go with Arkansas. But if A&M wins that game, would I be that surprised? No, I wouldn't. But I would, or even Oklahoma, I wouldn't be that surprised. But I
not
would
so
take.
fast on the Ole Miss Texas. It's a 3-point ball game.
Okay, well, yeah. Uh, I've got Georgia beating either one of those teams, though, so that doesn't really affect how I view things. But as far as what we're doing right here, but yeah, anything can happen. We're Arkansas fans. We know no lead is safe. Um, at least within reason, typically. But even then, as a Razorback fan, you still have that in the back of your head. You're like, I don't know.
Balls are safe, not leads. So,
Okay, there you go. So we both have Arkansas on that.
yeah.
Okay, so that'll put us in the semis on Saturday, March 14th. We've got so what would be the game 9 winner versus the game 10 winner. So I had Tennessee beating Vanderbilt in game 10. And of course, we had Florida beating whoever in game 9. So it'd be Florida, Tennessee. I like Florida.
Like Florida, yeah. You got to
Yeah.
like Florida.
Yeah. Hey, Florida is the clear cut best team in the conference. They proved that when they played Arkansas at their place. Arkansas had a bad game, but Florida had a little bit to do with that too. So Florida moving on to the championship in our bracket. Then we've got the other semifinal matchup, which would be Arkansas Alabama is what we have.
You match of the game of the year.
Yeah, Alabama was on the winning end of that. Uh,
I mean, Alabama and
officiating,
the refs were on the winning end of that one, yeah.
yeah, officiating got in the way with that, or got in the way of that. Alabama fans would say otherwise, but just look at the foul count. Arkansas had 4 players foul out. Alabama had 1 player with 4 fouls. Darius Philon, their best player, 0 fouls. That's BS. I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me that officiating didn't have something to do with that outcome. I've got Arkansas in the rematch at a neutral site. Where is it? Nashville.
Sure. I really don't know. I thought it was somewhere in Alabama, but it's probably in Nashville. You're probably right.
I feel like they always play the game in Nashville or play the SEC tournament in Nashville. Maybe wrong, but it probably says it somewhere. I would think. Well, we played at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Nashville. Okay, championship game Sunday at 1. We have Florida and Arkansas. Are we going to do the homer pick, or
No,
what do you have? Okay, you're not.
no.
All right, give me a winner. Well, you've already said it, but give me a score just for fun.
Man, I don't know, like
I know you don't
96,
know, but we're
96,
guessing.
86, Florida.
I think it's a more interesting game this time around. You're at a neutral site. Arkansas is going to be pissed off that they got embarrassed on the road at Florida.
A-Cup will
Uh,
be healthy.
yeah, the thing with Todd Golden and John Calipari, that'll be fun. Uh, again, Golden's a good coach, but it was ridiculous that he was arguing with the officials when their post player just raked Nick Pringle in the face, arguing why that guy was being called for a flagrant foul. His player I was like, "What are you talking about, man? That's a clear flagrant one." Um, so I don't like the guy in that regard, but obviously a heck of a coach still. I don't have to like him to admit that. Um, I think Arkansas plays them closer. I think it could be a very interesting game, but I think Florida is just the better team, and I think they pull away down the stretch. I like your score prediction. I'm going to go, though. I'm going to go 91-84. I'll go 91-84 Florida. So, yeah, I think Florida will win the SEC tournament. I would love to be wrong. I'd love for Arkansas to get their second SEC tournament championship in men's basketball. That would be really cool. I wasn't even really watching basketball the year that Arkansas won the SEC tournament. I think this was the Joe Johnson era in 2000 when they won it. This was toward the end of Nolan Richardson's run as the head coach of legendary run as the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Getting a statue.
He is well deserved, right?
Yep.
I mean, got his name
About
on the
time.
got his name on the court, made that team logo relevant, the slobber and hog.
Part of the reason why we got in the SEC in the first place, they wanted us because of our basketball.
Yeah, yeah, because what they were in the Final Four the year prior to that in 19. So that makes sense. That's an interesting. And Nolan Richardson has said this many times, just at public speakings, etc. It was ugly. His exit was from the University of Arkansas was ugly. It was not good. It was very public. It was it was just very it wasn't a good exit, for a legendary coach. Um, it wasn't handled well by anyone, really, as far as
We
I'm
ever handle
concerned.
our coaches well?
I mean, by Nolan Richardson too. He did not need to go out like that the way that he did. It was there should be some regret on his end. I don't know if there is or he'd ever say it. But it's all like time heals all wounds kind of thing. And here we are, he got the court named after him and now he's getting a statue, and he never left Fayetteville. That's the thing. He never left Fayetteville. Still lives there. Still a legend around town. Um, it's weirdly cool, like you don't hear about that. You don't hear about a coach getting fired and it being just a really bitter exit for on both sides, and the guy still lives there. Like it's and again, time heals all wounds. You start to reminisce about the days when your program hasn't had success since then or since him. And in fact, Eric Musselman is the only that time period is the only time we've gotten close to that again. And we're hoping to get this. We're hoping Cal can take it even further than that, right? Which he's off to a good start there. So, congrats to Nolan Richardson. Of course, very well deserved. It's just a very interesting story. And for those of you that don't know, 40 Minutes of Hell is a really good documentary that I'd check out if you're interested in that sort of thing. Okay, what else is going on in the sports world? There is the World Baseball Classic. I
Yeah.
watched. I did watch some of the USA Mexico game. That's all I saw. Even then, it was on in the background. Paul Skeens is an absolute beast. Uh, this is a very this is very fun to me.
USA could have played their last game already. I mean, they did some errors and messed around and got beat by Italy. So, and they were a heavy favorite against Italy, and now it's some kind of special tiebreaker where Mexico's got to score at least 5 runs or hell, something like that, and USA gets in. But who knows, man? That could be a 0-1 ball game, and USA just gets put out. So,
Which is interesting, right? I mean, they play again though, don't they? Did they play today or did they play tomorrow?
Who?
Uh, the U.S.
No, no, they got beat by Italy, and now they got to wait and get the result from Italy and Mexico to see if they play another game.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see the game. I just heard about it the next day because I haven't had time to really watch much of it. But it's always very fun to watch the World Baseball Classic. It's another example of baseball. Baseball and the NFL continue to find ways to grow the game. Yeah, they're playing baseball in Italy. Like who would have thought the Italian team would beat the United States team in baseball? But like that Mexico
Nobody would.
team's really good. I mean, that's a really good team.
Oh yeah.
Japan is probably going to be in the championship. Heck, maybe favored. Who knows? Um, Baseball has really grown and has done a good job of promoting and growing the game. Major League Baseball, that is. NFL doing whatever they do to grow the game. Uh, Touching up an example quickly, like the Bad Bunny halftime show at the Super Bowl. Somebody I know said the NFL is making a political statement with this halftime show. I said, no, they're not. This has nothing to do with politics. Bad Bunny is a massive star with the Hispanic community. They're trying to bring more eyes to their product. They've got
Hmm.
us. The NFL has us, the American fans. They're trying to grow the game. That's why they're playing so many games in Europe and now South America and Mexico. They're trying to bring in more eyes to the product because they know they already have us. That's all that was with the Super Bowl halftime show. We never talked about it, so why not right then? Um, but yeah, I would like to see Team USA move on. Absolutely. Um, and when I can watch more of it, if they get to the championship game or the semis or however that works after pool play, absolutely, I'm tuning in. I would think it would be I think the U.S. will find a way to squeak in, and I think it'll be them and Japan again. What say you?
Yeah, that'd be sweet, but I don't know, man. I don't see the U.S. making it to the finals.
Really?
So,
Uh,
dude,
it'll.
they're 75% of the way out right now. It's a very likely possibility that they've already played their last game in the World Baseball Classic.
You could be
They're
right.
hanging on by a thread.
Well, sometimes you got to do that. But our time is up, so we're not even hanging on by a thread here. But we'll be back next week with everything else going on in the sports world. But until then, I'm Grandpal.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.